Okay, today you're going to be learning how to hem a pant leg. So we're going to pretend that this is a pair of pants. This is the leg, and this is about where I want it to be. Okay, so I want it to be that short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my pant leg inside out, and I'm going to fold it so that that mark is right on the edge. It's on the bottom of my fold. So I'm going to fold it twice, and the reason why I'm going to fold it twice is because if I just fold it once and then I hem here, eventually all of these edges that have been cut, it's going to start to fray and it's going to leave a lot of strings hanging down, and I don't want that. So I'm going to fold it twice. And if you looked at your pant legs that have already been hemmed before from the factory, that's what it looks like. Okay, so here's the mark that I made. Remember, I said I wanted that fold to be right on the edge. So I'm going to push this down a little bit, and that's where I need to pin. And I'm just going to make sure that all the edges around are even with that. Okay, and then I'm going to pin there. Remember, that's to hold it in place so it doesn't slip around and move while I'm trying to sew things up. So again, there's my edge, and then we're going to pin it. And then I'm going to pin all the way around the edge. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've pinned all the edges around, and then I have my needle, and I usually would want to start sewing. Remember, I want my knot to be on the inside of my pant leg where nobody's going to see it, so I'm going to come through here and I'm going to sew right where there's already a seam. I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to come through. You got to be really careful because you've got your pins everywhere. And then I'm just going to sew a back stitch or a running stitch. Remember, a back stitch is a little bit firmer, a little more supportive, all the way around my pant leg. So I'm going to push that up. That's going to be my first stitch, and then I'm going to keep going around. And since my stitches are going to show on the outside of my pant leg, I'm going to try to make my stitches nice, neat, even, and straight across. So I'm paying more attention really to what it looks like on this side, on the side that everybody else is going to see. And if I wanted to, I could flip this right side out so that I can see it better. Just like that. Okay. Be careful not to poke yourself. So I can see right here that my needle's a little bit off. It's not going to be straight, so I'm going to move that. But I still need to make sure that I'm coming through both pieces of fabric on the other side. So I am just a little bit. I'm going to adjust it one more time. Make sure I'm getting through all those layers of fabric. Okay? I'm going to do that. And remember, with that back stitch, my pins are getting all mixed up here. With my back stitch, I'm going to meet the last stitch that I did. So I'm going back to that last one. And I need to pull tight to make sure that my stitches are going to be not loose. Okay? So this could take a little bit of concentration, a little bit of time. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way around. Right back to the last stitch that I did. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I went ahead and sewed all the way around. You can see on the inside that I made sure that I kept it on all the layers of the fabric, and I'm finishing off with one last stitch, and then I'm going to knot it on the inside so that my stitches don't come undone. So my last stitch is meeting that one that I started at right here. I've got to make sure I get my needle right in the right spot. Hopefully it's right on top of that last stitch. And then I'm going to knead it back to close the gap right here. Okay, now I'm done sewing all the way around, and then I'm going to flip it on the inside so that I can tie off my knot. So I go inside the last stitch that I did, make a loop through the loop, and then pull, and I'm pulling tight. We don't want those stitches to come undone. Go through the last stitch, make a loop, through the loop, pull. I'll do it one more time just for extra security. Through stitch, make a loop, go through the loop, pull, and then I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to cut it pretty close there so that we can't see any threads hanging off underneath it. So that's what it's going to look on the outside. Okay, so it's already been hemmed. Now if I turned it inside out again, you can see it's got that back stitch all the way around. Okay, and then I made sure that I went through all my layers of fabric. So remember, like we had mentioned before, you would want to make sure that you picked a thread that blends in well to your fabric. I used dark thread today just so that you could see easier what I was doing on the outside. Okay, and then you'd want to press it down with an iron to make sure that the edges and the creases are nice and crisp, and then it's finished. You're good to go. So if you were hemming a pant leg, you could cut it. Remember, if you're cutting it, if you wanted it to be that short, you would cut it like maybe here and still allow enough space to turn it over so that you have that double fold